Here with first-year head coach from Eastern Illinois, Ryan Millar. Coach, first of all, just kind of tell us about joining the team recently and having an opportunity to work with the team and getting to know them a bit.
Yeah, this is the start of week 3 for me here on campus. So it's like drinking from multiple fire hoses, not just one. So I'm trying to get my feet under me, and which has not been easy because I get thrown into the Lions Den with our first OVC conference duel this weekend in Martin, Tennessee. And so we didn't have a lot of time to put things together. But it's been really great just to be on campus, to get to know athletic department and get to know the girls most of all, and see what they can do, and really try to ignite a little bit of a flame under each and every one of them as with our beach program, which, like a lot of teams, is relatively new, and most of our players are indoor players. Some of them have more beach expertise than others, but being from Southern California myself and growing up on the beach, um, just being able to show them a little bit more of the beach side of the game and the different tactics and how they differ from being indoor, and different mechanics that happen on the beach that make you more effective in regards to being successful. Um, and so we've really tried to dig into that a little bit more, and maybe give them a little bit of a different taste of the beach game than they have in the past. And our hope is that that translates to success as we open up our conference play. We recognize that we're playing against other teams that have more solidified, dedicated beach programs. From what I've seen, and what I've seen over the course of watching some video from their gameplay last year on the sand, we're dramatically better. And they've worked really hard at honing their beach skills a little bit more, especially during this time in the spring when we have the time to focus more on the sand. And I'm actually anxious to see how they show up this weekend and compete. We don't have visions of grandeur; we have visions of reality. And our reality is that we want the girls to go out there and compete hard, and put forth the effort that they can, and the results will happen. The results happen as they happen. We can only focus on the things that we can control on our side of the net, and I feel like they're in a good mindset and headspace right now around going out there and competing and potentially surprising some teams. So we're looking forward to that opportunity.
So, as you mentioned, there was only been about 3 weeks, and then you did talk about obviously some of the new concepts and the strategy and the great communication that's needed between a pair in that sense. So, during that short period of time, and I know obviously we'll find out more when you actually step into competition, but what are some of the is it been a pretty good transition so far for them, and can you see them kind of getting excited about learning some of those concepts and trying to bring them into their game?
Yeah, yeah, I would say absolutely yes. I mean, the amount of effort and enthusiasm that the girls have around what they're trying to do on the sand is really encouraging for me. I didn't quite know what to expect when I walked into it, and so I'm pleasantly surprised around the amount of effort that they're putting forth on the court every time they step on. And so, we're about getting better incrementally, right? It's how do we get better today? How do we get better tomorrow? And obviously there's a steep learning curve for a number of these players in regards to how to be effective in the sand and how to be an effective pair. So that was another important thing for me. And luckily I had a well-oiled assistant that was helping kind of hold down the fort a little bit while I was going through the interview and hiring process here. I think she was able to lead the team through some beach practices and had an idea of what the potential pairings could look like, because obviously continuity on the beach is super important, and having that connection between your partner, whether it be volleyball tactic wise or communication wise. And so we've spent a lot of time kind of keeping them into what we identify as the pairs that we feel like are going to make us most successful, and allow them a lot of gameplay and practice to have them build that camaraderie and that connection that they need when the chips are on the table and they've got to perform and the pressure's on. it's the unique thing about beach volleyball is that you don't have a coach kind of just chirping in your ear the whole time. You're with your partner and you guys kind of have to figure it out. And it's actually going to be really cool for me to watch uh, these partnerships kind of work through that process over the course of this weekend and through the rest of the season. So I'm really looking forward to getting things started and building on the blocks that we've set in place and the foundation that we have set.
Well, terrific. I know you touched on it, throughout both the first two questions, but what are some of your thoughts heading into the OVC weekend in Martin, and what do you look for a little bit from your squad, and maybe even what should fans look for, through for the squad as well?
Yeah, my main thought is that we're behind for sure because the teams that we're going to be playing against have all competed in multiple tournaments, and we haven't. We did take a trip to McKendree University and took a day and did a little bit of a scrimmage against their team there at McKendree at their beach courts. And to me, that was huge because we didn't even have that on our schedule. That just happened to be set up between McKendree's coach Bob and I, just having a free day and having us available to go travel there and compete. But for me, it was super important because it allowed me to have an idea of my partnerships and where I think the ones and twos and threes and fours should be. But being able to watch them actually compete against another beach program and other players, I was able to, as a coaching staff, we were able to adjust a few things, which I think is really going to help us this weekend as we solidify the pairing numbers. And we're behind, and so the teams that we're going to be competing against have already competed much more than we have. But hopefully the girls go in there and they're hungry to compete. And like I said before, I think we're going to be surprising to a lot of teams, especially based on some results in the past, which haven't been super stellar. And so our team is too good not to be more competitive in my eyes. And so I think of the work that they've put in and that we've put in over the last few weeks, I think is going to show a little bit more on the court. And I would assume that we're going to surprise some teams around our level of play and general physicality. We're a pretty physical team. We're both physical indoor, and that translates to some physicality on the beach as well, and with some really good athletes. And so, I had an old mentor of mine who used to say the quote, "Nobody wins the Kentucky Derby with a donkey." So talent matters. And we've got some good, talented volleyball players. We just need to turn them into good, talented beach volleyball players, which is kind of the focus right now. So.
Well, Coach, finally, I'd love to ask, kind of what your thoughts and process are on how you would like to build this program. I know, obviously, not just even talking about trying to get into, the next few weeks going into the conference championship, but more so into, the future of the program in the next couple of years and such and so on.
Yeah. Well, Jose, that's where I get really excited because for a number of reasons. One, it allows me to have a more dedicated focus on the beach program moving forward, which allows us to obviously get introduced and included into other preseason events and allows us to compete against other teams that are a level that we are continuing to strive to be at. So you'll definitely see us at other preseason events as we gear up for our conference play, which obviously this year is a little bit of an odd year just with the coaching change and everything that was going on there. The thing that really gets me excited is that the EIU is working with the city of Charleston and putting together a tremendous new beach volleyball facility here in the city. Dedicated specifically for EIU beach volleyball. And it will be based on what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing and experiencing from both the city and the university. It will be a very, very top flight world-class beach volleyball facility modeled after some big beach volleyball programs. I think the main model was from the University of Arizona's beach program, as kind of a guiding star in regards to what the actual facility is going to look like. But we are planning on including 6 beach volleyball courts, having specific sand brought into Charleston, which is specifically for the facility, grandstands, the place that it's slated to be built at, is a wonderful facility, wonderful place, for the community to be a part of. And yeah, we're going to start digging here in the early summer. And so that facility will be ready for the next season, the next beach volleyball season. So we have big plans on hosting OVC tournaments, preseason tournaments, and at some point even potentially getting the AVP interested, or even USA Volleyball doing some stuff out at a facility like what we have coming on the horizon. So obviously super exciting stuff to be a part of, and to come in as a new head coach and to have an actual voice on what this is going to look like is also super cool for me, just personally. And then being able to build the program based off of that new facility is just something to be really excited about. So lots of really cool stuff going on for EIU in the future, not only on the indoor side with our new facility there, but also on the beach side with what's going on with this new beach volleyball only facility too.
Well, that's exciting and great news to hear, and definitely look forward to that. And Coach, again, we appreciate your time, and we wish you the best of luck for the season this year. So thank you again to Ryan Millar, head coach of Eastern Illinois, joining us today here. Thank you again, and once again, good luck.
Thanks, Jose. Appreciate it.